I'm here with Mike Ryan. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. Doing very well.
Congratulations on the release of your new song, Can Down. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired that song?
I feel like there are multiple phases to either a breakup or some sort of situation where you got to do some soul searching. And sometimes those are with your friends. Sometimes they're out at, in public, at a bar, at a restaurant venue. This particular situation is arguably the most important phase, in my opinion, of soul searching, and that's when you find yourself on the back porch. There's nobody else around, and it's just you with your thoughts and a case of beer or whatever it may be. And that's where we found ourselves when we were writing this one. And I'm as soon as we finished writing it, I was pumped and added it to the set list. I've been playing it ever since.
When did you write the song?
Maybe back in late 2018, somewhere around that time. We had just finished up a record when we wrote it, so it took a minute for it to actually get out there outside of the live shows. I mean, like I said, and with this song and with a lot of songs that I just feel strongly about, I add them to the set list immediately. So if you're coming to shows, like you'll hear them. And apologies if you can't take it home with you, but that's my favorite part about it. Just playing them around and getting reactions from folks, and then just learning about the song, like how I want to play it, how I want to sing it. Having a chance to live with it for a little while before I actually go into the studio and record it.
So you mentioned kind of shaping the way that you perform the song based on an audience reaction. How has that been, considering that we haven't really had a lot of live performances in the last year or so?
The vibe over the last year, even when we got to play shows, was different because we were playing for people that were seated, spread out, masked up. And, live music is, for me anyways, a lot of it is just about that transfer of energy. Like I give it to them, they give it right back to me, and then we just get to play off each other all night. So it was a strange thing, for one, not to be able to do it as much, but even then when we got to do it, just wasn't the same. But it seems like things are getting closer to getting back to where they were. Over the last couple of weeks, we played 7 or 8 shows, and a lot of those were pretty normal as far as what we were used to before the pandemic. Like there was a lot of people there. They weren't sitting down, and they were all fired up as we were to play for them. So that was exciting.
You were born and raised in Texas, and you're currently based there as well. How is Texas country different from the Nashville scene from your perspective?
I try not to classify too much. There's all kinds of different music out there, and like I just call it country music, and other people call it Texas country because I happen to live in Texas. But if I lived in Oklahoma, they'd call it red dirt. If I lived in Kansas, I guess they'd call it Kansas country. I don't know. If I had to say, I feel like there's more, like a little bit more grit, a little more rock and roll, a little more Southern influence in the Texas variety. Music is constantly evolving, and there's a lot of pop influences coming out all over the place, and just different things in both scenes, really. Rock and roll, even some punk type stuff that's happening from what I've heard lately, and it's all good. I mean, I'm just a fan of music in general. I feel like people should be able to make the kind of stuff that makes them happy, and I try not to worry too much about the classification and the genre. I let other people talk about that. I just make the kind of music that makes me feel good and that my fans respond to.
So we like to keep our followers in the know, so I gotta ask, what's coming next for you?
So we got this Can Down coming April 9th. Excited about that. We have another studio session coming up in the next few weeks where hopefully we'll be putting the finishing touches on this record, because we've got, 7 or 8 songs recorded at this point that are definitely keepers, and a handful left to record. So that'll all be coming out at some point this year. I don't have an exact release date for the rest of the project, but 2021 will absolutely be a new music year for old Mike.
Thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with us. We can't wait to see what comes next.
You bet. Thanks for talking with me.